Bengaluru. Y ustedes creo que son de distintos lugares del mundo, ¿no?
Sí, sí, soy de Vietnam.
Sí, muy bien, de Vietnam. Qué bien. Bueno, hoy explico algo sobre las preposiciones y sus usos. Bueno, ya podemos empezar.
Sí.
Bueno, las preposiciones. Bueno, preposiciones es algo que vincula o establece sobre los elementos de... Un momento, por favor. De una sentencia. Ok. ¿Puedo explicar en español o en inglés? ¿Cuál prefieren? Les pregunto ahora. Which one do you prefer? Do I explain in English or Spanish?
Es mejor en español.
Muy bien, muy bien. Bueno, las preposiciones establecen la relación entre los elementos de una sentencia, indicando el lugar, dirección, tiempo, la manera y otras relaciones. Bueno, ¿cuáles son las preposiciones? Empezamos con la preposición a. Es que es muy común. Usamos con muchas frases, con perifrases, etc. La preposición a se usa para decir to, at, for, or towards en inglés. La preposición a se usa para indicar la dirección o movimiento. Por ejemplo, voy a la tienda. Se traduce como I'm going to the store. ¿Sí? También se puede usar para introducir un objeto indirecto. Por ejemplo, le di el regalo a Juan. ¿Por qué usamos esta preposición aquí? Bueno, porque queremos establecer el sujeto. Por eso usamos la preposición a aquí. Bueno, también usamos para marcar la destinación. El destino o un goal. Por ejemplo, vamos a la playa. ¿Cuál es el destino? Bueno, playa es el destino. Vamos a la playa. Se traduce como we go to the beach. Okay. Okay, I'm sorry. Bueno, es que me exigen que lo explique en inglés porque hay muchos estudiantes nuevos. Bueno.
Sí, sí.
Bueno.
Sí.
Sorry for that. Okay. This for all the new students. Okay. The use of the preposition is for establishing the link between the elements in a sentence, indicating the location, direction, time, manner, and other relations. In English, it's also the same, right? I am in the house. I am at the office. I am in between jobs. Okay, this preposition what? They are actually linking the elements of a sentence. Okay, let's start with the preposition a. Okay, this is one of the most common preposition in Spanish because we use this for many periphrases. Periphrases meaning, okay, it's a phrase. Okay, to shorten explanation. this preposition a can mean, okay, quite a lot of things. But the most common explanation would be to or at. Okay, it can also mean for or towards. Okay, this preposition a is used for indicating direction or movement. For example, I'm going to the store, right? It's a movement. I'm going towards the store. So here I'm going to the store. I'm going to use the preposition a. Okay, now coming to the indirect object. Well, in English, it is pretty straightforward. Sachin wants an apple. Okay, we are not going to use any preposition over there, but in Spanish, we have to use the preposition. Okay, now the want is a bad example. Okay, this one would be used primarily for giving, for liking, etc. For example, I give a gift to Sachin. So what am I going to do? I'm going to use this preposition a. For example, I have written here, le di el regalo a Juan, meaning I gave the gift to Juan. To which person? I'm going to establish over here. So I have to use the preposition a over here. Okay, next, for marking the destination. Okay, this one, the indicating the direction, and this one is the same. Vamos a la playa, meaning what? We go to the beach. So we're going towards the beach. Okay, the beach is the final destination. So here we are going to use the preposition a. Next, okay, this you might have heard. We use the preposition a for indicating at what time we are doing, some things, some chores. For example, I eat at 6 o'clock. So here I'll be writing yo como a las 6. So at what time I'm going to use this preposition a. Okay, next, we are going to use the preposition a also for introducing the indirect object of certain verbs. Okay, for example, I told you, na, dar is to give. Okay, el libro, sorry, él dio el libro a su amigo, meaning he gave the book to his friend. This and the second one would be the same thing. Okay, now let's move on to preposition con. Okay, con is also quite regular. Con means with. Okay, for what purpose it is used? Okay, for expressing company or accompaniment. For example, dosa is eaten with the chutney. Okay, so I'm going to say, se come dosa con chutney. Here, the other example, voy al cine con mis amigos, meaning what? I go to the cinema with my friends. Okay, indicating means or an instrument. For example, I'm going to write with a pen. So I'm going to say escribo con el bolígrafo. The other example that I have given here is he cuts the bread with the knife. Cortar is to cut. So I'm going to use the means with the con. Okay, next, expressing possession or ownership. Okay, what am I talking about? Okay, the book is with Maria, if I want to say. Okay, el libro está con Maria, because I'm going to use está because it is temporary. The book is with Maria. Okay, the other example I have given is what? El libro es de Maria con la tapa roja. Meaning what? The book is of Maria with the red cover. Okay, next, denoting characteristics or qualities. Okay, if I want to say he is a person with a lot of good qualities. What am I going to say? Okay, es una persona con muchas, okay, cualidades buenas. So I'm going to say this with. Okay, next, if I want to say I agree with you, again I'm going to say this with only, na? The same thing con will be used. Estoy de acuerdo con tu opinión, meaning what? I agree with your opinion. Next, preposition sin, okay, is the opposite of con, meaning what? Sin means without. Okay, for what purpose we are going to use this without? Okay, for the expression of the absence or lack of. For example, I am without money. I'm going to say estoy sin dinero. Okay, other thing is what? No puedo cocinar sin sal means I can't cook without salt. So the lack or absence would be expressed with the sin. Okay. Also, it can be used for negative conditions such as, for example, the party was very boring without music nor dance. So here again, this sin means without. Okay. And for using, okay, referring to an exception. Okay. For exception in the sense what? Everyone went to the party without Kwan. So the exception person is what? Kwan. Right. Next, expressing prohibition or constraint. Okay, meaning what? For example, you cannot go without saying goodbye. Okay, meaning no puedes irte sin decir adiós. So here I'm going to use sin because it can mean without itself. But for expressing prohibition, I'm going to use the same sin here. Okay, again, for deprivation, in the sense what? Okay, what I don't have. I am without job. Estoy sin trabajo. Okay, this one and the first one would mean almost the same. Okay, next, the preposition an. Okay, an in English is in. That is the primary translation. Or it can also mean on, at, and into. Okay, which are the uses of this preposition an? Well, expressing location. First of all, if I want to say I am in the office, I'm at office. Okay, here I'm not going to use that preposition a. I'm going to use preposition en. Estoy en la oficina. Estoy en casa, meaning what? I'm at home. Next, indicating time. Okay, for example, okay, we can use this and if you want to say we are leaving in the morning, salimos en la mañana. Okay, usually por would be used here, but you can use en also. Okay, next, for expressing means or method. For example, I know I wrote it in the paper in the sense what? It's the mean, right? Where am I writing? In the paper. So lo escribí en papel means I wrote it on paper. Pagué en efectivo. Efectivo means cash. I paid in cash. Okay, next. Indicating inclusion. Meaning what? I'm in that list. I'm in the group, etc. So if I want to say this, I'm going to use the preposition en. For example, mi nombre está en la lista means my name is on the list. Next. Indicating state or condition. In the sense, I am informed. Meaning what? Estoy informed. To state that condition, you'll be saying and. Next, expressing purpose. Okay, in the sense what? If you want to say I study in the university, I'll be using this preposition and. We travel in search of adventures. Viajamos en busca de aventuras. Next. Okay. Entre. Entre means it's not enter. It is entre means between. The preposition, this one, entre, is used for definition of between or among or amongst. Right? For example, if I want to say the book is between the other two, in the sense, el libro está entre los otros dos. Next, if I want to say a range or interval, if I want to say an event is between this time, I'll be using entre. El evento tendrá lugar means that the event will take place between the 10th and 15th of August. Next, referring to a relationship or interaction, in the sense what? Okay, if I want to say a conversation is between some people, so I'm going to use this entre again. Next, if I want to indicate a choice or selection, again I'll be using this entre, because if I want to choose between two things, I'm going to use entre. For example, what? Elige entre estas dos opciones, meaning what? Choose between these two options. Next, expressing an intermediate state or condition. Okay, for example, what? Okay, I am between happy and sad. Right? You can use this entre. Next, la preposición de. Okay, the de will mean of or from usually, but it can also mean about, by, or with. Okay, with. Okay, in some context it can mean that also, right? Okay, for example, the most common example would be de means of. El libro de María, meaning the book of Maria. La casa de mis padres, meaning what? The house of my parents. Okay, indicating the origin or source. Okay, I think, okay, I hope you remember which is the preposition to say I am from dash, to say about your nationality or place of origin. You're going to use the preposition de. Soy de la India means what? I am from India, right? So here to say about the origin, we'll be using de. Next, if you want to say what a material is composed of, for example, okay, a table of metal. Okay, you know, I will be saying what? La mesa de metal. Okay, I will be using this preposition de there also. Okay, next, for denoting content. Okay, for content in the sense for a bottle of water, right? If you want to say a bottle of water, you'll be using una botella de agua, meaning a bottle of water. Next, you can also use this preposition de for indicating characteristics or qualities. For example, if you want to say, okay, he is a man of good qualities. Es un hombre de buenas cualidades. Un hombre de buen corazón means what? A man with or of good heart. Expressing origin or affiliation. Okay, origin, I already explained. Again, once again, I can. Soy de Mexico, meaning what? I am from Mexico. Or to association, for affiliation, in the sense what? I am a student of dash university. Soy estudiante de dash universidad. Next, indicating the subject or theme. Okay, for example, meaning what? If you're talking about a topic, you'll be using this de. Hablamos de política means what? We speak of politics. Un libro de ciencia ficción means what? A book of science fiction. Next, denoting time or duration. Okay, to start at what time you start a thing, you're going to use this de. For example, from 10 o'clock to 12 o'clock, you're going to use this preposition de. De las 10 a las 12. Okay, next. Preposition desde. Okay, desde can also mean from. Okay, we can get easily confused between de and desde. Okay, the difference is desde is talking about what the starting point in time, place, or situation, etc. If you want to say, I travel from Bangalore to Hyderabad, okay, because Bangalore is a starting place. I'll be saying viajo desde Bengaluru a Hyderabad or para Hyderabad, whatever, both would be fine. So I'll be using desde to indicate the starting point. Okay, next, to express time or duration. Okay, meaning what? From. Okay, I live in Bangalore since 2010. So how do you say that? Vivo en Bengaluru desde 2010. So that starting point in time, you'll be saying desde, indicating cause or reason. Okay, if you want to say, I cry because of out of sadness, I'll be using lloré desde la tristeza. The cause you can use desde. Okay, next, if you want to express a point of view or perspective, okay, to say desde mi punto de vista, meaning from my point of view, you're going to use desde. Next, if you want to say about starting point in a sequence, for example, from the first day only I hate him. Desde el primer día lo odio. So that from the starting point, you're going to use desde. Okay. Now, preposition por. Okay, por has multiple meanings. For example, the most common meaning would be for or by, or it can also mean through or because of, or per in the sense, you can say 2 days per week. In that context, you can use this por, or in exchange for. Okay, this one is very important. Next, for others also, you can use this por. For example, you're going to use this por for indicating the cause or reason. I cried because of sadness, meaning what? Lloré por la tristeza. Next, if I want to say a duration of time, okay, if I want to say, okay, I studied for 10 hours. Estudié por 10 horas. So for the duration of time, you will always use this por. Estudié por 2 horas, I've written. So it means I studied for 2 hours. Indicating a means or method. For example, if I want to say, I paid by credit card, I'll be saying what? Pagué por tarjeta de crédito. So that means would be por. You can also use this por for communication method. If you want to say, I called him by phone, I'll be saying what? Le llamé por teléfono. For that means or method, you'll always use this por. Next, expressing movement or direction. Okay, movement or direction, what? Through. Okay. Pasamos por el parque, meaning what? We walk through the park. Camino por la ciudad, meaning what? I walk through the city. So that through, that action of going through a place, I'll be using por. Okay. Next, you can also use this for exchange. Exchange in the sense what? Okay. If you want to say, I I exchange a t-shirt for a pant. Bueno, I can say, cambio la camiseta por los pantalones. So that exchange, you're going to use this preposition por. Next, expressing the general location in the sense, okay, I am in this area, around this area. You're going to use this por. Está por aquí cerca means what? It is around here. So you're going to use this again, preposition por. Okay, next, preposition para. Okay, por and para can be really confusing because they have one common meaning, which is for. This para can also means for, to, in order to, or towards. Okay, which is basic use of para. Well, it is indicating purpose. For example, estudio para aprender español. I study to learn Spanish. Okay, the goal, the end goal is what? Studying Spanish. For that, you're going to study. Learning Spanish, for that, you're going to study. Next, I purchased this gift for you. Okay, compre este regalo para ti. So anything that is intended for some other person, you're going to use this para. Okay, next. You can also use this for final destination of a journey. For example, salgo para el aeropuerto, meaning for I leave for the airport. Here, the airport would be the destination. Por is used for something that is passing through. Para means is the destination. Next, you can also use para to express the recipient of an action. Okay, I told you, na. Compre este regalo para ti. That is the, I bought this gift for you. That you is the recipient of regalo. One more example. Esta carta es para Maria, meaning what? This letter is for Maria. Right? Next, you can also use for indicating the deadline. Okay. If you want to say, the homework is for Thursday, I can say los deberes or la tarea es para. Did I say Thursday? Okay. El jueves. So here, to say the deadline, you're going to use para. Understand? Next, expressing comparison or contrast. Okay, meaning what? Okay, if you want to say for me. Okay, for a child, you're going to use para. For example, para me, you're going to express what? Your opinion. Okay, for example, you're expressing also comparison. Okay, para mí es muy feo. Meaning what? For me, it's very ugly. I can use this for expressing opinion also. Next. Okay, which is the principal difference between por and para? Okay, this is very important because usually people make subtle mistakes. Okay, if you make the mistake, people will understand. Okay, you have made a mistake, it's okay. But you should not be doing that mistake, right? For that, you will need to differentiate what is the difference between por and para. Okay, the first difference, purpose or goal. Para indicates the purpose or goal intended or desired. For example, estudio para aprender, meaning what? That goal is for to learn. So I'm going to use this aprender. Okay. If you want to say estudio por mi futuro, my future is my motivation and the reason for my studying. So I'm going to use this preposition por. Okay, next, the destination or recipient. Okay, here I told you, este regalo es para ti. That intended of the gift is The recipient of the gift is for para. Next, if I want to say, I go through your house, pass by your house, I'm going to use por, because por is always used for something that is not a destination, just via, through. I'm going to use this por. Okay. Next. Okay. Okay. Next, you can use it for time. Okay. The difference I have already told you, but I'll just recap right now. Okay. This por is used for a duration of time. This para is for a deadline. If I want to say the report, okay, I need the report for, by tomorrow. I'll be writing what? Necesito el informe para mañana, indicating the deadline. I can also use, okay, yo vi la película por 2 horas, meaning what? I saw the movie for 2 hours. So the duration, I'm going to use this por. Next, the means or the method. Okay, para is used is used to express the means or method which is action is carried out. For example, pagamos con dinero para comprar comida. Okay, which is the end goal here? To purchase food. For that, I'm going to use para. Okay, next. If you want to say the means of communication, I'm going to use por. Always means of communication is por. You need to remember that. Comunico por correo electrónico. Meaning what? By email. Okay, next. Okay, preposition ante. Ante means, okay, ante means in the face of, or against, like that. For example, if I want to say I am in front of the door, estoy, okay, you can use enfrente or ante la puerta. Okay, you can also use it for what? Before, right? For example, if you want to say you are in before someone, estoy ante el juez, meaning what? I am in front of the judge or before the judge. So for that, you're going to use this ante. Next, in the face or when confronted with. Okay, in the sense, okay, if someone accuses or, okay, you are facing a problem, a crisis, you're going to use ante. In the face of economic crisis, in the sense what? Ante la crisis económica, right? Next, for comparisons or evaluations. For example, if I want to say, in comparison to the success of her or his brother, he feels frustrated. Ante el éxito de su hermano, se siente frustrado. So you're going to use this ante. Next, under or beneath, which is bajo. Bajo means, okay, the principal translation would be under or beneath. Right? If I want to say the cat is under the table. Okay, I'll be saying el gato está bajo la mesa. Correct? Next, if I want to say the meaning of something in the sense, okay, the authority, etc. Under his authority, meaning what? Bajo su autoridad. Next, you can also use this for translation for under, right? I already told you. So, los niños se refugiaron bajo un árbol durante la lluvia, meaning what? The kids took shelter under a tree during the rain. Okay. you can also use this bajo for to express low or below. Okay, if I want to say the cost is below $50, I'm going to say el costo es bajo $50. One more example. La temperatura está bajo cero, meaning what? The temperature is below zero. Okay, in this case, this is actually an adjective, but okay, they use the same word, bajo. Next, the preposition contra. A contra means against or versus. Okay, when it is used for indicating opposition or resistance. Okay, for example, esto en contra de esa política means I am against that policy. Okay, I can also use this for saying a match. Okay, I can say Manchester United plays against Arsenal. What am I going to say? Manchester United juega contra Arsenal. So for that against, for versus, I'm going to use this contra. Okay, you can also use this for physical contact. Okay, I have given the example. He or she crashed into the wall in the sense chocó contra la pared. La pared means wall. Contra means against or into. He or she crashed into the or against the wall. Okay, next, denoting contrast. Contrast in this for comparison, right? Okay. Comparamos los precios de diferentes tiendas y elegimos el más económico. Okay, here I can use this contra. Where I'm going to use this. Comparamos los precios de diferentes tiendas ante otras tiendas y elegimos el más económico. Next, you can use to say something negative. For example, okay, el medicamento tiene efectos secundarios, meaning the medication has secondary effects or side effects against, okay, blood pressure, la presión arterial. To say the negative against, you're going to use this again, contra. Next. Okay, against, you know, this contra means against. For example, when you're talking about the position, la escalera está apoyada contra la pared. In the sense what? The stairs or the ladder is leaning or supported against the wall. Next, durante. Durante means, okay, during or the period of time for. Okay, I told you the one more reason of por is for duration of a time. You can use this durante and por, okay, interchangeably. Durante el verano, okay, not always, by the way. Okay, durante el verano means during summer, viajaré a Europa, meaning I will travel to Europe. So this durante means what? During that period. Next, durante 2 horas. Okay, here you can use this por 2 horas you can use. Okay, for the during 2 hours, estuvimos en el concierto, meaning what? For 2 hours, we were in the concert. Next, referring to a particular time frame. Okay, durante el invierno, again, this during. Viajo a menudo a la montaña, meaning what? During winter, I travel often to the mountain. Next, indicating simultaneous events. For example, during the reunion, meaning during the meeting, they discussed various important themes. Topics. So for the during, I'm going to use this durante. Okay. What about the la preposition hacia? Okay. You can get confused with hacer. Hacer in imperfect mood is also hacia. but the difference is the accent on the I. Hacia or Hacia. Hacia in the sense, okay, he or she or I did or was doing. But the Hacia without a accent would be towards. Okay, towards in the sense what? Okay, this is usually for movement. I walk towards the prison. Okay, camino hacia la prisión. Okay, caminamos hacia el parque, meaning what? We walk towards the park. Conducen hacia el norte means they drive towards the north. Next, expressing figurative movement, again the direction itself, but it would be figurative. For example, he works for or towards the success. Trabaja hacia el éxito. Next, indicating a time or period. Okay, in the sense, you can also use this for saying around. In the sense, la fiesta empieza hacia las 8. You can use it to say the party starts around 8. You can also use this hacia for around, especially for time. Okay, next, expressing a trend or tendency. Okay, in the sense what? Towards. Okay, hay una actitud positiva hacia el cambio, meaning what? There is a positive attitude towards the change. Indicating a target or recipient. Okay, in the sense what? The recipient of an action. Okay, first of all, I can say dirigió palabras de agradecimiento hacia el público. In the sense what? He directed his words of thankful words or gratitude towards the audience or public. So this, you can use it for saying action meant for some person. Next, mediante. Okay, mediante, it would mean, okay, by means of or through. Mediante means what? Okay, for example, I can tell you, it's a method or means. Comunicamos mediante. We communicated through the use of correo electrónico. Again, you can use por here. Comunicamos por correo electrónico. Next, you can also use this mediante for indicating a process or an action. For example, aprobé el examen mediante el estudio constante, meaning through constant studying, I passed the exam. Se resolvió el problema mediante una discusión constructiva. In the sense, the problem was resolved through a constructive discussion. Next, if you want to refer to an intermediary, in the sense what? Through this person. Recibí la información mediante mi amigo, meaning what? I received the information through my friend. So that person, your friend, would be the intermediary. So through that person, you're going to get the information. Next, if you want to express legal or formal procedure mediante, it can be what? Through itself. Se obtiene la nacionalidad mediante la solicitud y los trámites correspondientes, meaning what? Nationality is obtained through the application on the corresponding procedures. That mediante here it means through. Okay. Next, la preposición según. Según means according to or depending on. Okay. If I want to say según el informe, according to the report, the economy is rising or growing. In the sense what? La economía está creciendo. Según el autor del libro, la historia ocurrió así. In the sense, according to the author of the book, the story happened this way. So that you're going to use this según to say according to. Okay, what about expressing a perspective? Again, this according to translation would apply. Según mi experiencia, meaning according to my experience, es mejor esperar un poco más, meaning it is better to wait a little bit more. Según los expertos, esta es la mejor solución. In the sense, according to the expert, this is the best solution. So, to say the point of view, you can use this según. Okay, next, you can also use this for criterion. For example, if you want to say depending, you can use this según. Los resultados pueden variar, meaning the results can vary. Según la región geográfica, meaning according to or depending on the geographic region. El rendimiento académico se clasifica según los criterios establecidos, meaning academic performance is graded according to the established criteria. Next, to express the condition or circumstance, you can use this also. Okay, again, it means depending on or according to. For example, el horario, meaning the schedule, puede cambiar según las circunstancias, meaning can change according to the circumstances. La disponibilidad del producto varía según la demanda, meaning the availability of the product varies according to or depending on the demand. Next, preposition sobre. Sobre means above or about. You can use this sobre. Okay, if you want to say the book is above the table or over the table, you're going to use this preposition sobre. El libro está sobre la mesa. The book is on the table or above the table. El avión volaba sobre las montañas, meaning the airplane was flying over the mountains. Okay, if to express about the topic or the subject, it means about itself. Sobre means about, right? So hablamos sobre el proyecto, meaning we speak about the project. Next, you can also use for indicating contact or influence. In the sense, tenía su mano sobre mi hombro. In the sense, what? He had his hand on my shoulder. Okay, here it also means on, right? Next, expressing an approximation. Okay, again, you're going to say for approximation, you can use this sobre. La reunión duró sobre 2 horas, meaning the meeting lasted about 2 hours. For approximation, to say around or about, you're going to use this sobre. Next, for indicating distribution or allocation. For example, repartieron, meaning they distributed el dinero, the money, sobre los participantes, meaning among the participants. Okay, you can also use this entre over here. Right? Instead of this sobre, you could have used entre. Okay, next. Tras. Tras means behind or after. Okay. In Spanish, you're going to use this preposition, okay, indicating physical position. For example, el perro está tras la puerta, meaning the dog is behind the door. Expressing the chronological order, sorry. Tras, meaning after. Tras la tormenta, meaning after the storm, salió el sol, meaning the sun came out. Tras la cena, meaning after the dinner, veremos una película, meaning we will see a movie. We will watch a movie. Next, indicating pursuit or, okay, indicating pursuit in the sense, okay, the detective went after the suspect. El detective fue tras el sospechoso. Okay, expressing causality or reason. Okay, if you want to say for reason, after this something happened, you're going to use this tras su enfermedad, meaning after his or her illness, decidió cambiar su estilo de vida, meaning he or she decided to change his or her style of life, meaning lifestyle. Next, if you want to say about a location, it is behind something. You're going to use this same tras. For example, the table is behind the wall. La mesa está tras o detrás la pared. You can use this same thing. Okay. I think I have covered most of the prepositions, but if you want to know about some others, you can all ask me now. Hola. ¿Alguien tiene alguna duda? Hola. Does anybody have any doubt or need any explanation regarding any other prepositions they want to know? They can just ask now. Hello. Anybody?
So what we can use for until?
I'm sorry, can you just repeat?
Yeah, I was saying what would be the correct word in Spanish for English until?
Okay. Hasta.
Oh, okay.
Hasta, no? Until.
Okay, okay, yeah.
Until. Hasta. Until this time, you're going to use hasta. Okay, by the way, H is silent, right? Hasta, like hasta, A-S-T-A. H is there, but H will be silent. Okay, any other doubt? Does anyone have any questions? Okay, you guys are very familiar then with por and para. Okay. Okay, if you have any doubts regarding any other prepositions, not just these, some other, you can just ask. I will just clear it up.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay, Shashank, thank you. Thank you again for answering those questions
Okay.
for the great presentation. Yeah, thank you all for attending. We hope you have learned and enjoyed this presentation.
Bueno, si alguien tiene alguna duda, puede preguntármelo. You can just ask me. Okay.
Okay, thank
Buenas
you.
noches. Hasta pronto. Good night. See you soon. Ciao.